Il y a plus de 70 ans que l'OTAN a vu le jour dans un contexte d'un bouleversement de l'ordre mondial. Pour renforcer notre résilience face aux chocs, pour protéger notre paix collective et pour affirmer cette vérité durable que nous sommes plus forts ensemble. This NATO summit is similarly taking place at a transformational moment for Canada, for the allies of NATO. The international rules-based system on which the alliance has relied upon is under unprecedented pressure. And the threats that are facing individual member states are evolving. They differ both in their form and severity. And at the same time, Canada's own relationship with NATO is appropriately evolving. Put it in a bit of context, for over a century, Canada has been a net exporter of security to Europe. And now, with those evolving threats worldwide, the threats to our own sovereignty are becoming more acute. With increasingly open Arctic waters and rapid advances in cyber, in AI, and quantum, with advanced missile capacities, we can no longer rely on our geography to protect us. As the global landscape shifts, the collective security created by the alliance remains the strongest and the most effective way of protecting Canadian sovereignty and protecting the security of Canadians. So together with our allies, we must ensure that NATO remains strong, unified, and ready to confront the threats not just of today, but of tomorrow. And so in this pursuit, Canada is helping to ensure that the alliance and the peace that it can help protect prevail. In order to do so, we must invest in our strength, because Canada's leadership must be defined not just by the strength of our values, but by the value of our strength. And that's why earlier this month, Minister of Defense, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Chief of the Defense Staff, and I unveiled Canada's plan to rebuild, rearm, and reinvest in the Canadian Armed Forces to protect, first and foremost, Canadians, to protect our interests, and also to help protect our allies. In doing so, we are reaching NATO's 2% target this year. We've arrived at this summit looking forward with a plan to help lead with new investments to build our strength. This morning, Canada, or just now, I guess it went into the afternoon, Canada and our allies agreed to a new defense investment pledge, which secures Canada's strategic and security goals. As part of that, Canada has already beginning working towards a target of 3.5% of GDP by 2035. By expanding our plan to invest in the Canadian Armed Forces, to modernize our military equipment and technology, to help build up our own defense and security industries, as well as to diversify our defense partnerships. We're also working to ensure that we are spending 1.5% of our GDP in defense and security-related infrastructure. So that means ports, airports, infrastructure to support the development and exploitation of critical minerals, telecommunications, and emergency preparedness systems. These investments serve our defense as well as protecting the readiness and resilience to protect Canadians. At the core of our defense investment, of course, are the men and women of the Canadian Armed Forces. And as I speak to you today, Canadian troops are participating in NATO deterrence and defense missions across Central and Eastern Europe, as well as building capacity in the Middle East. As part of Operation Reassurance, Canada is leading a 14-nation strong multinational brigade with over 2,000 Canadian Armed Forces in Latvia. We're working with our allies and partners across Europe to train Ukrainian soldiers who are defending their homeland from Russia's illegal and barbaric invasion. These are the women and men we are investing in. The forces we will expand with new incentives and new recruitment efforts. Le Canada renforcera également ses capacités industrielles grâce à une stratégie vigoureuse et des partenariats internationaux. Lundi, lors du sommet Canada-Union européenne, nous avons conclu le nouveau partenariat de sécurité et de défense entre le Canada et l'Union européenne. Ce partenariat est la première des deux étapes menant à la participation du Canada à l'initiative Agir pour la sécurité en Europe, un instrument du plan Réarme Europe. Cela nous permettra d'atteindre nos objectifs plus rapidement et à moins coût. Canada does have enormous industrial capacity, but that will grow significantly. As our allies seek to increase their military readiness, they will buy more equipment and technology made in Canada by Canadian workers in shipyards, in labs, and shop floors right across our country. We'll make the drones, the icebreakers, the aerospace technologies, and much more that's needed to build a more secure world. Par la suite, au sommet du G7 à Kananaskis, j'ai annoncé des nouvelles mesures pour appuyer la souveraineté et la sécurité à long terme de l'Ukraine. Nous avons mis en place de nouvelles sanctions visant le régime russe, sa flotte fantôme et ses revenus liés à l'énergie, ainsi que les individus qui facilitent et tirent profit des atrocités commises par le Kremlin. Nous fournissons à l'Ukraine 2 milliards de dollars en financement supplémentaire et nous lui offrons aussi un prêt de 2,3 milliards de dollars qui l'aidera à rebâtir ses infrastructures, ses services publics et sa société civile. Canada is helping to ensure, and through our discussions, I'm very pleased with the discussions and how they evolved, that the new NATO targets, at 5% of GDP, those new NATO targets, are tailored to address new threats and challenges, and that the capabilities required to meet this moment have been the driving factors for those targets. Importantly, the trajectory and the balance of the new NATO defense pledge will be reviewed in 2029 to ensure that the commitments align with the global security landscape. Throughout Canada's history, there have been turning points when the world's fortunes have been in the balance, and each time Canada has chosen to step up, to lead on the path of democracy and freedom. We're once again at one of those moments. If we want the world of tomorrow to be shaped by our values, Canada must be ready. If we want a more secure world, we need a stronger Canada that works with our allies, and today is a very important step to build both.